Hello, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood CPA, Tobi Agbejimi, the lead accountant at Dober Tax and Accounting LLC. And today is another edition of Tobi Talks, your up for Savo business strategies and tax smart solutions. And on this session today, we will be practicalizing the use of the debt snowball calculator. The content of every episode of Toby Talks is designed to help our viewers, subscribers, followers achieve financial freedom and literacy, reduce debt, increase savings and investment, create additional and multiple streams of income, and ultimately save in taxes. If this resonates with you, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to ensure that you don't miss any session that we come up with in the future. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my viewers who gave feedback from last week with respect to the session that we held on building your credit and paying down your debt. It was really inspiring to know that the content of that message resonates so much with you. And I just want to appreciate the fact that, you were able to give the feedback. And I'll tell you guys, the feedback that we got is that so many people are also in this same boat. So if you missed out on the content of last week's session on Toby Talks, please go back. It's on YouTube. The link it will be posted in the after this session. Catch up on that because that's the foundation upon which we're building on today. There is this quote that I found online that says that dreams don't work unless you take action. And the surest way to make your dream come true is for you to live them. And when you do things in the present that you can see, you're shaping the future that you are yet to see. I love that quote so much. I had to keep it in my mind to bring it here so that you guys can hear it. You can rewind and play that session over and over again. And I hope it inspires you as much as it did for me. Today's edition, like I said, we're going to be practicalizing the use of the debt snowball calculator. Just as a foundation on what we discussed last week, not a foundation, a reminder of what we discussed last week, we talked about having an emergency fund so that you do not fall back into the rabbit hole of having too many debts after you get out of this huge and sticky debt situation. That being said, you are not alone, like I mentioned the last week, and I'm going to be sharing my screen in a little bit. You will be able to download a copy of this exact spreadsheet that we'll be using on today's session. And I just want to give acknowledgement to my coach, Mark Collier, who provided who is the source of the spreadsheet for me. And I've used it on my end, and I thought it's wise to share it with you guys. A link will be posted after the video, after the session. You can click on that link and use that link to get a copy for yourself. And remember, I'm rooting for you. I am here cheering you on. I'll be checking in with you at least once a month via email to see how you're doing. And I would really love for you to share your progress with me because, again, the entire goal here is for all of us to join forces together, knowing that we are not alone and knowing that there is someone else out there who is in the exact situation as we are. And then we get motivated by the fact that someone else is also doing exactly what you're doing, about to do now, and you just keep kicking things out. One thing that came to my attention again from the feedback that I got from last week is some people told me that I don't have a problem with they said they don't have a problem with their emergency fund, but they find it really difficult to dip out of the savings that they have in that emergency fund to pay down the debt, because by the time they look at that bank account, it's sort of lower than where it was. Now, here is the deal. I want you to have that emergency fund, or you can even call it an opportunity fund, because you want to be ready to take a leap when an opportunity or an idea comes knocking at your door. Most of the time, when we're not even expecting them. But the goal here is for you on a going forward basis. Don't touch the savings that you have. I don't want you touching that right now. On the going forward basis is to earmark how much you will pay yourself, and that amount that you want to pay yourself will be the amount you would use towards the payment of this debt that has refused to let you go. All right, let's share the screen right now and work on this debt snowball together. I'm grabbing my copy now, and here we go. So you'll be able to download an exact copy of this debt snowball plan for yourself. I was playing with mine, and this is just hypothetical, just so you know. And I just decided, okay, maybe April 1st might be too soon for you. You might say that you want to you want to start committing and a particular amount, or you want to start building your emergency fund by a particular day. So for the sake of example, I put here 4/1. I could as well go here and put here 5/1/2024. So you'll be able to do exactly what I'm doing on the screen right now for yourself. And you see the step one says you should choose a start date. That is why this is personal. It's a personal journey. But I just also want you to always remember, as much as it is personal, you are not alone. The Doba tribe is right here behind you, and you're not doing this by yourself. So everyone in this tribe is going to be choosing a particular start date to have an emergency fund, or you can as well call it an opportunity fund. Now, the next thing you want to come up with is to decide on how much you need in your cash reserves for a possible emergency, so you don't fall back in credit card debt. I'll give you an example. A client of mine who gets salary in over 6 digits, all of a sudden called and said their company is downsizing and they are letting them go. So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of this person, or pretty much think about the fact that the technology of today is super advanced, that artificial intelligence can do so much within a split of a second than what you and I would still take time to put together. So if your firm finds the AI or the robot more efficient, and every organization is always looking to save, go the route of using the artificial intelligence, or choose go the route of using the robots to replace your job at your workplace. What will you survive on? What is going to be your buffer when something happens to your job? It might be sweet and rosy today. So even this emergency fund is just a starting point for you, is not the destination, is a means to an end, just for you to at least know you have something somewhere in an account that you can use in case of emergency. But again, you want to still build more buffer, eventually having paid down this debt. So I want you, like I said, decide on the amount you need to put in that cash reserve for a possible emergency, so you don't have to always pull down that credit card every time you have to make take an opportunity or do something with an emergency situation. It's going to be a new checking or savings account separate from your current bank account, because you and I know that you are used to paying everything from that current bank account. I don't want you to touch this other account. It's very easy to create a savings account these days you can even do it on your phone by having a savings account, and all of these um, banks are they make it very easy now. So you want to create that separate bank account that you will not use for any other purpose. You will not use it at a store, you won't use it at a dining or when you're shopping. And don't even bother about this account earning any interest. Remember, the goal is for you to just ramp up some savings. I put here $5,000. You might choose to put here $6,000. You can choose to put here whatever amount. It's always beneficial eventually down the line for you to have at least 6 months savings of your monthly survival expenses. But right now we're starting, you remember, we're starting taking baby steps. Okay, so you choose what that amount would be. The third thing you need to do is that you need to understand that this is a behavioral pattern, and you just have to be able to change your mindset to get yourself financially free and get yourself debt free, get yourself in a position to increase, to be able to have investment that would earn you income while you are not actively working on it. You have to check everything that you own. So many of us, especially in the time of pandemic, found delight in just ordering different things online, things that you have not even used today, or you don't even know when next you will use them. So check through your stuff. Check what you can sell out on eBay, on Craigslist, on Garage Sale, on Facebook Marketplace, that will help you build up your emergency account more quickly. For those of you who already have the emergency savings account, you can, keep this on the side, because this part that I'm talking about may not apply to you. We will soon get to the point that will apply to you in helping you pay down those debts. And then you, at this point, after you've gotten rid of some things that are not really needed for you, then you need to discover and tell yourself and be disciplined. Again, remember, this is a disciplining, a move to discipline yourself as you progress and into the future. So discover what you really need to live on and get rid of the stuff you don't need, and stop buying things that are not expedient for your survival and all that. Like I said in my last video, you don't have to live a life to impress other people, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you will answer for yourself, and your net worth personally. So stop deceiving people out there to be flashy or whatnot. Get yourself together and focus more on building wealth, so that in future, if anything were to happen, God forbid, if you were sick and you can't get to work, you can't work for yourself. Even for us business owners, this is very important, because sometimes we get so zoned in our businesses, seeing the money coming in, and then we don't make provisions for those days when, God forbid, if you have an emergency, or maybe you can't work for a few weeks, or you're told not to work for a few weeks by the doctor, and then you don't have provisions to survive at that point, and you always just tell yourself, I gotta work every day, which is not good, and it's not fair. So you have to learn to put yourself first, put your well-being first, and think about those unforeseen circumstances that can potentially happen, even though none of us is praying for that to happen. But life comes with different surprises, and you don't want to be caught off guard. When you decide on the things to sell, it can help you move your start date up as quickly as you can. Then the next step, which is step 4, is for you to choose the amount you want to pay yourself. Whether you are an employee right now, if you're an employee, having received your bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, whatever way you receive your payment from your job, you want to tell yourself that of all this amount, I'm going to pay myself this piece. So you want to put that amount here. If it's going to be 500 per month, put it there. Right now, I chose to put 700 per month for me, for myself, to take care of myself. And that taking care of myself is actually to pay down my debt, not for me to go shopping spree. So after you've created that emergency fund, how much you commit over your current monthly budget? Remember, it's over and above the budget that you have currently. You're not paying yourself this amount and neglecting your rent, to pay your rent or to pay your utility bills. You're adding this on top of every other um expenses that you have, and this amount is totally going towards paying down the debt to build wealth for the future. We always encourage that you carry your debt snowball with you everywhere, in your bag, in your journal, on your calendar, on your wall. Like a vision board, you can place it on your wall and give yourself that excitement, the reason to get this part of your life taken care of. And remember to celebrate your wins as you progress. It might be little, but celebrate it, because you are getting closer to paying off everything that you owe and having that debt-free um, final celebration and opportunity to invest in additional streams of income. So celebrate your payoff dates and successes. Get excited and start living more frugally as you become financially free and are no longer a slave to your debt. I'll tell you one other thing that came to my attention, which um, sometimes I feel like we know, but maybe we don't remind ourselves enough of it. Is if you go ahead and all you're doing is paying the minimum balance for all of those cards. Like I told you last week, it will take you between 20 to 30 years. And the way the card company make money is by making sure that you don't even pay off all of those debts at once. You're not able to, you don't pay it all, so that they can always add interest to your account on a monthly basis. And sometimes the amount of interest that your debt accrues is way over and above your monthly payment. So it's like, I'm paying this money down, but I'm not seeing any progress. The reason is because paying only the minimum amount does not make your debt go down. The interest that your debt accrues every month sometimes is double or triple the minimum balance you pay. So that way you will never be able to pay off on time. And all those additional amounts that the credit card companies and the loan companies add to your debt, that's where they make their money. So no one is in the business of making losses, but you can be in control and manage the situation by yourself. Then you start saving. After your debts are paid off, immediately you want to take that total amount that you have been committing to on a monthly basis in the last month of your debt. I'm going to show you now on the spreadsheet, which is the total minimum payment plus the amount that you pay yourself up here. You add all of those together, and what you want to do after paying off all this debt is to start funding a permanent life insurance policy, which gives you 20 times of your investment, of your premium investment in life insurance. Again, life insurance is totally a tax-free benefit when you do cash it out. I'm going to say this. For me, I'm a life producer, so I'm able to speak on this topic. When I do life insurance for my clients, I don't focus on because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to do life insurance because it's for death purposes. I don't want to die. And then my beneficiaries, whoever gets the money, get to live off whatever I put down. In my space and in my world, I'm always saying in my space, in my world, because I'm a tax strategist. And what I do is I help clients build wealth. I'm not a financial advisor, but I have um, life insurance license, and I'm able to advise on how to best grow that fund and ensure that you can trigger the income bucket at retirement, such that when your 401k is paying you taxable income, you get tax-free income from your life insurance policies. That's a topic for another time. But my emphasis here is letting you know that whatever that amount is that you have put when that you put towards the monthly commitment, you want to use that same fund after you're paid off all this debt. Don't feel like, oh, now I'm done, the money can be in your account. No, the entire goal is for you to grow that fund and put it in a permanent life insurance policy, put it in a Roth account, be it as you can use the self-directed Roth account, HSA health savings account, or a 401k, and see that money grow. When you get on, by the time you have this spreadsheet, all you have to do is populate the yellow side as for all of the debts that you have, and you want to start from the highest debt to the lowest balance. So just so you know that this can be so I'm going to put Mercedes Finance for you to know that it's totally editable. I hope I'm spelling my Mercedes well. Well, you guys get the gist. And we're not focusing on the interest rates, but you definitely put it there. Whatever that interest rate is that that's your financing company is charging you per annum, whatever, you put it here, and the total amount due. I could put this as 35. I could increase this at 28 116. Right? And then my minimum payment, I'm just making up numbers, guys, is $498, which is inclusive of my interest and principal. That is my minimum monthly payment. So you want to make sure that you capture your minimum monthly payments here. I put MasterCard. I could change this to, remember, if you look at my spreadsheet, you'll see that I'm having from the highest to the lowest debt. This one could be 18,000. I could just change this to 18,000, put my minimum to 143, put my Visa card. If I own a personal debt, let's say I borrowed money from wherever to do whatever I did, and let's say my money, that amount is now 7,618, and then I'm paying the person 128 every single month. So as you can see from this spreadsheet, my medical debt, I'm going to put that to maybe it's 4,366, and I agreed with the medical company to pay $50 per month. You can see that on this total the total here is the sum of all of my debt. So the calculator is that intuitive. You don't have to touch that. It also calculates your minimum monthly payment, is that intuitive as well. And here, what's the idea behind this is that you want to keep making the minimum payment on all of these cards. If you can do it, set them up on auto pay so that you never forget to make a payment when it is due. Put your minimum payment on auto pay. So you remember up here, I said I could pay myself additional $700. So you would see here is an addition. This amount here is the $939 plus my $700. If you had the $939, my minimum monthly payments, which is my usual obligation, plus the $700 I chose to pay myself, it becomes $1,639. If I change this to $500, just so you know that this calculator is intuitive, it changes it to $1,439, $939 plus the $500. So, but for now, I'm putting it back to $700. I want to pay myself $700 additional. And you can see here that it calculates how many months is going to take you to pay up your total debt. This 62 does actually is probably is going to be sooner than 62 months, because it's not taking into cognizance the lower debt portfolio as you pay down the minimum monthly debt. So when you have, so in the first month, generally you're supposed to pay $50, but you're putting that additional 700 here. You put it towards the medical debt, the lowest debt, and in 6 months you will find yourself to have paid off this debt that would usually have taken you, let's say 436 divided by 50. That would have taken you 87 months normally, but here you will end up paying it off in 6 months. By the time this is over, remember at this point you're putting in 750. You will not reduce the amount you're putting in now. So you add this 750 plus the 128, this 128, because here is the idea. You, whether you like it or not, you were always paying this $50. So you will still include that as your budget. Your 750, you add it to this minimum 128, and on a monthly basis, you're paying off $878. That way, in 9 months, you will be done with this personal debt. Remember, at every time was celebrating the wins, celebrating the wins. Then when you come after this is off of the power, this is now zero. You put this 878, which is the combination of what you were doing on the first two, towards the Visa card. Remember, whichever way, you are still making your minimum payment. You don't stop paying the minimum every single month. Preferably put that on auto pay. Now 878 plus this 120 is the 998. And before you know it, you are done with that debt. This 998, you add it to the 143. When you had 998 plus 143, you are now paying 1,141. You keep paying that while you're making the minimum monthly payments on the Mercedes finance. And by the time this is off the pile, you had this 1,141 plus the 498 on a monthly basis, taking you to 1,639. And while you're doing that, there is no other monthly payment. So you're targeting all of this monthly payment plus the 700 towards this. One thing I find is that as soon as you start using this debt snowball and you start seeing the progress, there is tendencies for you to put more. So don't hesitate to put more, because the more you put, when I say put more, increasing how much you pay yourself, right? When you increase that, it gets you there even sooner. What do you do after you are done? As of today, when we're talking, hypothetically, I'm down at a negative $70,660. By the time I keep paying, and you want to put what your return on investment is, and this is what you think the rate of return will be on your investments moving forward with your savings. And what that means is that by the time you're done paying this off, in 1 year after your start date have started, you probably would, after all your debts is paid off, when you put all the money together, remember I said when that debt is paid off, you want to put that same amount, which is the 1639, on a monthly basis in either a permanent policy, insurance policy, a Roth IRA, HSA, or 401k, or you can split it across the board. If your average return on investment is 7%, even if this is 4%, look at how much you will be able to ramp up in 5 years, investing this 1699 continuously on a monthly basis, and look at how much you'll be able to save. If this was 7%, it even goes higher. The more percentage, the merrier. So you have to just identify where your savings bucket lies and what can give you your rate of investment that you're looking for. At the end of this session, I will put a link to download your own debt snowball calculator and work on this. You will receive an email as soon as you fill the form. It will be delivered in your email. You'll be able to click on the link to download it. Work on it. Don't just get it and keep it. I want you to actually use it, and let's celebrate that win together. It might look big today, but it's going to look big forever if you don't do anything about it. Now is the time to do something about it. And I'm going to read that quote again to you. Dreams don't work unless you take action. The surest way for you to make your dreams come true is for you to live them. And when you do things in the present, like using this debt snowball calculator, doing things in the present that you can see, you're shaping the future that you are yet to see. The future of that potential 1.4 million that you are able to ramp up in savings, and maybe someday become someone that gives out loan to other people to do their business. But right now, let's just focus on this debt snowball thing. I hope you found value on this call today. Please feel free to give me your feedback. If you have any question after this call, drop a message in the thread. If you don't want to, because I know a lot of people like to be anonymous, feel free to send me an email at tobi@doballc.com. TOBI@doballc.com. Again, the content of every of our episode is to help you become financially free, to help you have that financial literacy, to reduce your debt, to increase your savings and investment, and create multiple or additional streams of income, and ultimately to help you save in taxes. Make sure you click on that button to subscribe. I love you and I'm proud of you. I know that you're going to do this, and I know that we will celebrate your wins. We can get out of this sticky situation. If I can do it, you can do it. Remember, today is another step for me. I took the bold step to do that which I normally would not want to do. So it's your turn, and I'm rooting for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe, share this video. So many people need the same help, and they just need to, it always helps to know that you are not alone. Have a great day, stay safe, and ultimately, God bless.